Good morning. I am your brother George Nyakpo. Today, I decided to come out to you again. I'll be doing some few recordings here and there, some few talks here and there, just to educate the population about the issue concerning the independence of the Western Togoland. My brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, the Western Togoland issue is a simple one. Why do we stand today to talk about the independence of the Western Togoland? It is because we come across several documents about how this our land was to be stolen. Britain tried everything with Ghana to make sure that this land lost its flavor on the continent of the world and Africa. But the truth can never be hidden for long. So the Homeland Study Group Foundation, led by Mr. Charles Komikujoji, aka Papa V Ogbedeto, God richly endowed him to come out with a hidden agenda. We have a lot of documents to buttress our points. So those who are going here and there calling themselves emeritus, historian, scholars, professors, trying to twist the history, please. We have the history. Some people are also of the view or arguing that there are certain portions of the land that are not part of Western Togoland, especially the Anlor land, the Peki land. It's just funny when people make such arguments. When we ourselves, those who claim they know from this land, the Western Togoland themselves, especially the Anlor people, and some unfortunate people in the Vedome land, always say the Anlor lands are not part of Western Togoland. They are Britain land, they are Gold Coast, they are those kind of blah blah blah. Today, I decided to show you one document. You know, we have several documents which we are asking Ghana to produce, and Ghana is unable to produce. The so-called professors, the so-called historians, the so-called old people that are just going about twisting the fact here and there just to suit their interest. And when they talk about it, they just laugh. They just brush it off. It's just interesting. But I want to assure the Anlor people, those who are saying they are not part of the Western Togoland, I want to assure them that that argument they are making will not stand the test of time. The first question I want to ask, if you are saying the Anlor lands are not part of the Western Togoland or the general Togoland that got divided, which part were they? Were they Gold Coast lands? When did the Anlor land become a property of Gold Coast? Because date back in history before the invasion of the white man, before Britain even conceived the idea of coming to Africa, the people in the Anlor land has nothing to do with the people in the Gold Coast. We know this fact. We knew that it was first, the area was first inhabited by the Danes that constructed a fort at Keta, and the fort is still there. History had it that the fort was sold to Britain. Yes. So if you come and buy a shop on my land, does that place belong to you? It doesn't belong to you. And the fort that was constructed there, even the Danes did not own the land. They were also strangers. The Danes were strangers. So whatever the business they have, when the business was over and they have to leave, Britain decided to put in the bid to acquire the place, and they have to give it out. Because they know that when they are coming, they didn't carry any land to the land, to that place called Anlor. So when Britain was coming to Africa, did they carry any land on their head and call Trans Volta Triangle? Did they carry any land from England to that place? They didn't. They were strangers. And the only business they have on the land was to trade. They bought a fort there. And the fort wasn't their own originally, so it was bought. So if they were to be the one who even constructed the fort, we could have even said that, oh, they have something to do, but they bought it. So those of you who are having that thing, please go back to your memories and refresh. Ask yourself this question. When Britain was coming, did they carry some land and bring and name it Volta Triangle? If you call it Volta Triangle, what was the original name of the place? Because Volta Triangle has nothing to do with our indigenous language there. So those of you who are making that argument, you come online, Facebook, YouTube, those places, WhatsApp, write so many trash. You are doing disservice to your source and your ancestry. Your education is meaningless. Your education, you wasted money to get yourself educated and call yourself professor, to come and be telling us that a land that was there, created by God, our forefather inhabited the land before even the white men decided to travel from their land to our place. You are now calling it something. I heard someone was on TV saying legally the land belonged to Gold Coast, legally, and he was so confident legally. If it is legally, which court did they go and sign the document that this land should belong to these people? Who was the witness to that? Because any land that you acquire legally should have witness. Who bought the land? From who? And who signed that this land will belong to this or that? Please, don't let's be making basic mistakes. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. So I want to tell you today that the Tongu land, the Peki land, the Anlor land has nothing to do with Gold Coast. It has nothing to do. The document signed by our chiefs to do business with the Britain then was not called a document of transfer of land on ownership or whatever. It wasn't like the 1844 bond that was signed between the Ashantis and those things, where Britain said this land they took it by a treaty. This one they took it by conquest. Those no. The Anlor lands were never part. Do you all remember Dr. Amato? He is from Denu. He was born in Denu. Denu is in Anlor land. His father is from Eastern Togo. So he is from Anlor land. He's an Ewe. Ewe Anglovie. Yes. Now, if Anlor land belonged to Gold Coast, or Britain gave it to Gold Coast, what business was Amato doing at the United Nations, defending the independence and no integration of the Western Togoland to Gold Coast. Because if he's doing that, knowing where the land belonged to them, he couldn't have even formed a party. Then he could have joined the CPP, because he was one of the leaders of the Togoland Congress that was campaigning for the independence of the Togoland under British administration, or the Western Togoland as we refer to it today. Are you getting it? People always argue that because the Anlor people do not take part in the plebiscite, it means the land belonged to Gold Coast. That was why. It's a lie. At the time, the ever unification, the Togoland Congress was so much dominating, or they have dominated the whole of the southern section, and education was more intensive there. So the Britain and the Nkrumah are even scared to involve the Anglors in the plebiscite, because they know the outcome will be disastrous. Even the majority of the land that took part in the election, at the end of the result, only the few people in the south that voted against it. You can see the number. The difference was just 16% vote difference. It tells you that there were a lot of serious opposition to that. I will ask some other questions before I come back to the reason why I'm making this video. The reason why I'm making this video is just on those who are saying the Anlor land belong to Gold Coast. And I have only one evidence out of the many evidence just to show for today. As time goes on, evidence will become one after the other. So what business do Nkrumah have to enter Western Togoland to campaign against Togoland's Congress? Those who are saying they voted to be in union, this question is going to you. Nkrumah is not a Togolander. What business do he have to follow the plebiscite commissioner campaigning here and there? And Britain and UN failed to stop him from that because it was an orchestration. They intentionally want to add this land to Gold Coast, now Ghana. So they do all the machination, all the orchestrations to bribe the people. The reports are there. At the right time, you will see them. So, if the people voted or not, why is it that they didn't allow Togoland Congress to also go to any part of Ghana and campaign? Because Nkrumah is not from Togoland. He's not from Togoland. That Nzima guy is not from Togoland. He has no business doing in Western Togoland to campaign for them to be in a union with Ghana or Gold Coast. So that particular incident alone has defeated that 1956 plebiscite. So keep it at the back of your mind. Let's go straight to the document I'm talking about. In 1951 to 54, the Anlor land that they say belongs to Gold Coast. Mind you, the Treaty of Jelukope, or the Jelukope Treaty, happened a long time. Are you getting it? It happens long time. And there's a reason for that treaty. And as I said, the treaty was not to add the Anlor land to Gold Coast. No. And the treaty just took place only in Anlor. Tongu was not part. Peki was not part. There was a reason for that thing. And the reason was just a business, to be able to trade on the lagoon so that there will not be any fight. Because anytime they want to trade with our people, the white want to trade with our people, they have been fighting them. You can read about the wars of the Eves. What causes those wars? The last one that stopped everything was the Datutagba Akledo Gokame. Yes, they themselves are aware of it. So when people are raising this argument, please be thinking carefully. Don't just get fed up and just try to throw trash outside. We spent several years to study this history, analyze every little bit of it. before coming out. That's why you see that Homeland Security Foundation ever since has never been violent. You know, you never see us organ anything because we are studying, we are learning carefully. When we post something, someone will come and ask, no, we say, okay, this is what the person is saying. Now let's go investigate. So all that we have been putting out, people have been writing those things, we have investigated all. Anlor lands and all those things. So in 1951 to 54, those eras, this land was in the trusteeship, or was a trusteeship land, and Britain, having their powers in Gold Coast, Ghana, Accra to be precise, have their headquarters, everything there. They are supposed to be writing reports on the trusteeship land, the land that was entrusted into your hand. You are supposed to be writing reports on it and be sending to the UN. Now, it is only those lands that are in the trusteeship, the territory, that are supposed to be written report about. So you realize that there was no report to UN on any part of Gold Coast, only the trusteeship land, only the Togoland under British administration. Just that. So in my hand here, you see progress in TVT. TVT is Trans Volta Togoland. You see the 1951 to 1954. You can see it. That is what? Progress in TVT. 1951 to 54. So you see that down there. Watch it carefully. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but watch it. You will see it. It's a report. I'll read it for you anyway. So it is a report made to the Trans Volta Togoland Council. Trans Volta Togoland Council, not Gold Coast Council, by the regional officer on the 28th April 1954. 28th April 1954. Let me say took place in 56. A so-called union was established and Ghana got independent in 57. So follow me as we look through this document. Now, so this is the document as you see it here. Printed by the Government Printing Department, Accra, Gold Coast. Progress in TVT. So what progress have you made on the Trans Volta Togoland that are put under administration? Yearly, you have to be giving me reports. UN demand a report. And this is a copy. And this copy is from 51 to 54. There were other copies. So a report made to the Trans Volta Togoland Council by the regional officer on the 28th April 1954. Introduction. So let me read. In the last 3 years, that is since the 1951 Constitution came into force, the 500,000 people of Trans Volta Togoland have seen many advances in their region. Many of the developments for which they have been hoping and asking have now been completed. Others have been started, and many more projects which they themselves have helped to plan have now been approved by the government and are being put in hand. For this area, one of the most important steps has been to set up a separate region in which the areas of the to set up a separate region in the region in which the areas of Gold Coast, in Anlor, Tongu, and Peki would have better opportunities of working together with their kinsmen, the areas of Trust Territory, and with the Boems and Kratchis. 2 years ago, a regional headquarters was established. The things are fading. Kratchis, 2 years ago, a regional headquarters was established in Ho, and since then, government services in the area have been increased. The second step was the establishment of an elected representative council for the whole region. This council, which is called for short the TVT Council, was established as an advisory body to help in planning development. These two steps have been giving the people a greater say in their own affairs and have helped to achieve the government's objective of increasing the pace of development in the region. There are a lot of things here. So we go straight to the various things. Now, there is a construction. We have the Volta River Bridge. So, since 9 months ago, the government decided to build a bridge over the Volta near Senchi. The surveys have been completed. A site at Adomi has been chosen. Approach roads have been started, and work on the abutments should begin this year. It is hoped to complete the bridge which will have a single span of 840 feet in 1956. The cost of the bridge and approach road is estimated to be £560,000. The Eastern Highway is here. So the Eastern Highway, the building of a trunk road from the new port at Tema over the Volta by the new bridge and northward over the Bame, passed through the cocoa areas of Boem and the eastern borders of Kratchi to Bimbila and Boku has been given top priority. A great part of the route through this region has already been surveyed and a start has been made on construction. The standard of our new main road and the modern method of construction being used can now be seen near Frankedua. This road will cost many millions, but it would greatly increase the prosperity of this region. Now, let us turn to development in the 5 districts: Jasikan, Bando, Ho, Tongu, Keta. You see, this is a report and we are going through it. So we have the Jasikan, and I'll just jump to some few places here. Local council have undertaken heavy expenditure on the construction of modern market and good progress has been made in KJB, Ahamansu, Papase, and Borada. The following local council have recently received loans from government for development of market: Akan Local Council, £7,000. Togo Plateau Local Council, £2,000. Boem Local Council, £1,500. Kratchi Local Council, £800. So, this is a report. So maybe if you meet at the courts, you understand. Oh, there are a lot of things here. So Pando is here. Maybe let me pretend so that you will see. You don't come and tell me I'm reading. I'm just imagining the thing I'm reading to you. Can you see Pando? That's Pando. That's Pando. Can you see Kwando? That's Kwando there. Then we have Ho. This is Ho. Can you see Ho? That's Ho. Now, let's just move to the controversial areas. So this is Tongu. Tongu, new district headquarters. The Tongu that people are saying is not part of Western Togoland. And this is a report that is solely for Trans Volta Togoland. If Tongu is not part of Trans Volta Togoland, why do we have to have it report in a Trans Volta Togoland document? Why? An administrative station was established in Soga Kope in 1952 for the area of the Tongu District Council, with the objective of increasing the pace of development in this isolated part of the region. Up to the end of March of this year, Tongu was run as a sub-district of the Keta district. It is now a separate district responsible direct to the regional headquarters in Ho. A house for the government agent and some junior of staff quarters have been completed. The office is nearly completed and additional junior staff quarters are to be built this year. A new police station was opened at Sogakope in 1952. Are you following me? So follow me. We are not reading the report on Gold Coast. This report is not on Gold Coast land. It's a report that's supposed to be sent to Britain, to UN. UN entrusted the Trans Volta Togoland to be taken care of by Britain. Britain was the colonial master and administrator of Gold Coast then. So this report, UN is having a copy. Britain is having a copy. Ghana is supposed to have a copy. And this copy is supposed to be in the hand of those so-called professors, historians. And they should come and tell us why. Why? Have you ever seen any document talking about Ghana and Burkina Faso have shown in it? Ouagadougou has shown in it. Have you seen some before? Answer this one. So this is a tongue. I won't read all. There are a lot of things here. I don't have that time to read all. So the Gold Coast National Food Board in 1953 sponsored the construction of the following feeder road at Didome Adaklu, Cherefe 14 miles in Tongu, 2 Asiekpe via Aveji and Waya Adaklu 5 miles in Tongu. So we have all the places here. Tongu District Development Committee, aided by the Mass Education Officer, is helping the people of the area to construct a road 20 miles linking Mepe, Bato and Aveyeme with the main Tefle Accra Road at Sege. Good progress has been made, and it was possible early in this year for lorries to reach Mepe. This road will be of great importance to the farmers and fishermen living on the bank of the river, who are at present isolated from their best market. Our almighty Kata is here. The almighty Kata is here. Can you see Kata? Can you see Kata? I want you to see Kata. So that's Kata. So what about Kata? Local government. The main energies of government in the Anlor area during the last 3 years have been directed towards the establishment of local government on a modern pattern. This pattern, this consistent uphill work is now beginning to show results. The revenues of local authorities have increased from £29,000 in 1951 to 52 to £75,000 in 53 to 54. The Keta Urban Council has just received a loan from government of £10,000 for the improvement of Keta Market roads. This is Keta. Borehole drilled by the Department of Rural Water Development now provide good supply of pure water at Joje. And here they wrote Joje, DSO, so Zoje. Ehi, Joglaji, Abo, Benyi, Boglu, and Agove. So this is a report, not a Gold Coast report. In addition, the Department of Rural Water Development has arranged for MESER ADSCO to sink in Keta a trial borehole which is expected to reach a depth of 650 feet to find out whether good supply of fresh water can be obtained from below the salt water. If this trial, which will cost £7,500, is successful, there will be good prospects of securing other supply of fresh water along the whole length of the coastal strip from Denu to Anyanui and in the areas lying immediately north of Keta Lagoon. The result of this trial borehole will therefore be of the greatest importance to the people of Anlor. A site has been selected and drilling is expected to start before the middle of this year. Now, look at this place. From Denu to Anyanui, why didn't they include the other parts of Greater Accra, Adan and Co? Why? They just end it exactly at Anyanui, where our boundary is, where the River Volta pours in the sea. Let's learn and stop misinforming the public. So, I have a lot to do today. This is just the Anlor issue and the summary of development proposal by the Trans Volta Togoland Council from the special development grant of £1 million made by the Gold Coast government. Health, Rural Hospital. Health alone